There are two ways to communicate with animals. One is energetically, so it's communing with nature, just being around the natural world, in the wilderness. That's something that's very deeply healing because it makes us slow down, and it's also allow nature to work on you, like you're listening to the birds. You might hear the trees creaking, or you might hear the wind rustling in the leaves, or see the water, or see the sunset. That's very powerful healing, and that's a way of communing with nature and picking up messages, receiving messages. Like, for instance, if you're going by the sea and you look at the ocean, or if you go in the forest, you might be able to sense, the general atmosphere of the place. If the animals and the trees and everything is peaceful, you'll be able to sense it. And if something has been disturbed, you'll also be able to sense it. So it's basically communing with nature on that level. And then another way is to communicate with animals telepathically. Telepathy means communication across a distance. So you don't need to use verbal language or body language. As humans, we really rely a lot on words, on the way we communicate with each other day to day, but we also use what we refer to as our guts, our gut feeling. I'm sure you've all had that before, that feeling of you're thinking about someone and ping, they send you a message in your phone or they call you. So it's your instinct, your intuition. It's like something that you can sense is happening, or you can sense, things. That's your instinct, your intuition. And we all have these moments when we are in tune with our intuition. And that's what we use primarily with telepathy. With telepathy, we give permission to ourselves to relax within ourselves and to trust ourselves. And that's a big one, trusting in ourselves. That's really a big one, because embracing this as a possibility and just going with it is like giving you permission to do it. Like one of the biggest block, I would say block number one in animal communication is ourselves. And we really need to get over ourselves and embrace our intuition, our own magic. Because people tend to think that other people are magic, other people are communicating with animals, other people are doing all these things. And especially when we scroll on social media, we tend to think everybody else they seems to have everything so figured out and to have life full of meaning and spirituality and all of that. But it's just, an illusion. It's completely an illusion. We all have that potential within us. Because magic isn't outside, it's inside, it's here, it's within all of us. So magic is right here, inside our hearts. And all we need to do to unlock that is just to allow it to happen, to give ourselves permission to do it and to trust that we're doing it, that you can do it. You can communicate with animals, and I'm sure you're already doing it. I'm sure that you're already talking out loud to your cats or to your dogs out loud, and you're telling them, doing running commentary on what's going on what they're doing, or what's going on in the day or in the house. And I'm sure you're really probably doing that, and they're getting it. They understand what you're saying. They get it. They get the picture in your mind of what you're saying, or they, they know what you mean. And that brings us to a second block. In animal communication, is that you're probably already talking at them, but you're not listening what they're saying back. So you're talking at them, telling them, even asking them questions, and you are maybe not listening to the answer. So sometimes animals find their way around that, and it may be that they find their way to throw the answer at you very quickly. There is a split second when you ask someone, who's eaten the cushion on the sofa? And then one of your dogs, you get a quick glimpse of the answer and it comes to you. So that's kind of their way of shooting it at you in between your thoughts, in between your brain kicking in, and you get it. So some animals do that. They're really good at getting to you like that, in a quick and fast way like that. But usually for some animals, they find it a bit tedious because it takes much more effort, much more energy on their side. And it can be an exercise in frustration sometimes to try to get you to see what they mean, or to just get you to get it, basically. So why are we not listening? And that's the next block. Why are we not listening? Fear. Fear is a big one, because we are all fearful of what we don't know. So it's fear of this deep unknown. It's like having a glimpse of this huge, deep, vast, hidden world, but we fear it because we don't know it, and we feel like get lost, or we feel it might be too big and we won't be able to grasp it. So fear is a big block, and I'm sure that your animals would love you to take that leap into the unknown and to listen to them, and I'm sure they'll be delighted to help you. Even often when I run workshops, often people work with pictures of their own animals, and often the animals are like, oh, thank goodness we can connect, you're listening. And often, I get people to ask, would you help, would you help your person, to listen and do this, because they're relearning this and they need help. And they often know, yeah, of course, yes, please. That means, more time with them, just focusing on them, giving them more attention. They love it. So I'm sure your animals would love it if you could get that. This is not, something that you can't do, but it's actually something you actually can do. It's just about listening, and it's not outside of you, it's really within you. It's in your heart. And the next point is, how do we get in? How do you get in? How do you get in that space? Well, there are a few ways to get in. I usually use the breath. The breath for me is like a magic carpet. Some people use storytelling to get in. Some people have vivid dreams. So it depends on what kind of person you are, how you usually function. So it does depend, it varies from person to person, but there is always a way in, it's not locked. So if you'd like to be able to communicate with animals, I'm inviting you to come and join me in a couple of months' time at the end of June. It's in Emerson College, it's in East Sussex. It's a beautiful place. It's in like a beautiful, typical English, very English-looking mansion with a beautiful, well-maintained, proper English garden, and it's just on the edge of Ashdown Forest. You can walk actually to the forest. The food is great, because I know when people are going to go somewhere, they want to know what the food's going to be like. So the food is like very amazing, very tasty vegan or veggie food, homegrown. Grown locally, either on site or in the local biodynamic farms. So it's a biodynamically grown food. They cater for gluten-free, veggie, vegan, of course, and it's prepared with love and care by the dedicated team with on site. So it's freshly cooked, and it's such a beautiful location. It's very healing. It's a very special place. The place has hosted a lot of great people over the course of time. And you can really feel it. It's really great. So I hope to see you there, and I'll see you in the next video very soon. Thank you, bye.